screwed into the back of it so I could hang it up nice and easy. There are these two clamps. They didn't come with it. Just Frankenstein them on because I like how well shielded they are. But damn, the shield doesn't really want to come off. There it goes. Okay. And drink, no nothing. Some of the things we do when our brains just off amaze me. I would have bullied somebody for doing that. Here I am showing you my mistakes. Just kidding, bullying's not cool. I've never bullied anyone in my life. I'm 4'7". I don't know how to bully. Just a couple of copper strands getting lost. That's why I like to use an X-Acto knife most of the time, but whatever. You got the tool, you gotta use it. A few copper strands, it's okay. Currently sitting on the floor underneath this chair. My leg went a little bit numb. There's the second clamp. Just go warming up again to get the old copper to drop off. Old piece of foam has been working wonders. There it goes. These I just warm it up a little bit. And it drops right off. Chicka chicka. Gotta move kind of fast. It's early in the morning, but I got stuff to do. Let me see. Clean this all out. Been doing some marketplace finds lately. My little charger broke. Not this one. Different charger broke for my car. And I was looking on Amazon, like other places to get a replacement. I just didn't like it. So I'm just getting the exact replacement. Just, used, because I almost spent $700 on a cable. I wish I could chop up a EV charger cable myself. But you're just dipping my fingers right in the honey pot. Gotta try a different technique every time. Working in the comfort of your own home doesn't allow for some experimental techniques. I don't know what the point would be then. I want this one to like really, really clamp on. Same technique though, just in and out. Have the clamp do most of the work. I didn't put e-drink on the other one, so I don't even think about putting e-drink on this one. Maybe when it breaks for a third time, I'll do it the proper way. But for now, this is good enough. So I was rushing. There was someone who needed to jump real quick, and I ran over. And I don't know how. There's no excuse, but I connected the negative to the positive and the positive to the negative with the clamps first. And then I took the little D-tab and put it together. And dude, the power of the supercapacitors really shined. The spark, the immediate heat was like uncomparable. It was like an electrical fire, like a battery electrical fire. I knew I made a mistake right away. These are really good connectors, so I just got them in now. Like a pack of 5. I've modified the cables a few times. I went to a higher gauge. I don't really know which one. I think it's like an 8 gauge. The black ones on the battery. But these are 10 gauge, and I realized, you know what? I really don't need 8 gauge wires, and they were super short. Kind of hard to work with, so I'm going to make this bit a little bit longer. Yeah, I'll use the longer bit here. That way it's just easier to manipulate. I could bend it around more. The other one couldn't really bend it much. Maybe that's why I made the mistake. Positive, negative. Yeah. Okay. Good. This is gonna be real simple. I'm just gonna tack on the new piece to the old piece, but I want to make it kind of clean. So here's a little technique. Just separate the two pieces. And then what I did here, I learned this the hard way before. I cut the positive and negative to different lengths. That way there's a smaller chance they're gonna touch when working on it. Because that battery is active. If those two pieces touch each other right now, and it might just weld those pieces of copper together. So I'm just making sure that the cable is gonna be the correct length. Mark it up, cut it. These snips aren't that sharp anymore, but it's okay, they get the job done. Yeah, that goes pretty damn perfectly, if I do say so myself. Oh. I feel like a old man, but I hurt my knee yesterday. It's like the worst position to be in right now. It's okay, it's a little stretch. Forward, back, forward, back, forward, back. I have a feeling I'm gonna lose some copper here as well. It's okay, it's a thick cable, it don't matter. I solder it together anyway. These cables are really easy to work with too. The 8 gauge wire. It's just too big and it doesn't bend as well. Like hooking it up to charge. Always felt a little goofy, so makes me a little excited to try this after. I only need a little bit of copper exposed one side on one side and the other side, and I just said, you know what? No, let's shut it off. So even here, we're like, you're being careful. This is low voltage. This is like 15 volts, right? That couldn't hurt me. It might give me a burn if like my fingers touching, and then the two ends meet. It wouldn't be like life-threatening. I just gotta remember to put the heat shrink on before you solder it. A few times where I just go with the electrical tape because I forgot about the heat shrink, but I just want to go a little bit bigger than the cable itself. These guys, they shrink 3 to 1, so you can, like there's a lot of leeway. But I find the smaller ones just like the glue sticks better, and then the less it has to shrink down, the more flexible it can be. All I have to do is line these guys up, put a little bit of solder on it. Yeah, I don't want to get any of the metal to drip on the table. So I'll use this guy again to protect. Also looks a little bit better too. I was gonna lay something down on the bench, make it easier to like see what's going on, but you know me, I love a black background. Nice and simple. This is always the tricky part. With thicker cables like this, you can't just twist them together. Like with smaller cables, you can get away with twisting them and soldering them. Big ones like this, it's hard to twist. And then, if you even twist it, then it's just like this massive blob of copper. Doesn't look good. I mean, we're not trying to win any beauty competition here, but come on. I like to have some pride in me work. Used a lot of solder on these. So still probably won't be enough. Just gonna fray open the copper. This is always like a balancing act. I want all the copper fingers to, what's that thing called with a deck of cards where you like rainbow them. They all like one card goes on top of another. I want that to happen. But of course, copper is a little finicky. And, that actually wasn't too bad. Satisfaction. What I really want to get, I don't even know if this exists. I want like an exterior soldering iron that has a clamp. You know what I mean? Like a hot plate. I want to be able to like squeeze the cables together with a clamp, and then that clamp is hot, and you just touch the solder to the copper and shoo, it soaks it right up. Cause like this, look, I got like balance. I'm squeezing the copper together, and then I can't move that hand. Then I gotta use one hand. The whole thing. And moving it all around. I can't let go of it, or else copper's gonna stand all up. It'll defeat the point of not twisting them together. But there, I just needed to mistake sets you back all the way to square one. Oh yeah. I'm so glad. One of my favorite hobbies in life is fixing stuff. Because there's an infinite number of things to fix. I know I'm always gonna have a fun, good time. Even with how strong this soldering iron is, heavy duty, still doesn't really do a perfect job with this type of thick wire. Ideally, you'd want the solder to flow into the middle, but I'd have to hold this here for like a minute, and by then the heat shrink would shrink completely. So my goal here is to have solder on just the outside. That'll hold the cables together a bit. But the actual MVP here is the heat shrink. Remember again that heat shrink? It's got glue inside of it. Let me get the lighter. It's got glue inside there. When it shrinks down, that glue bites onto the cable. That's where it holds stronger than the solder. So I probably didn't even need to use the solder. But better safe than sorry, and probably will conduct better anyway. I'll like fill in all the gaps. Only thing I don't like about soldering is how my fingers feel after touching the flux. I'm afraid to check, but I have to assume flux is just the worst possible thing from a health standpoint. It just feels that way. And then if I forget to wash my hands, I like touching my face. I feel like I need to take a full body shower after working with flux. And I want to get these perfectly straight with each other. The previous setup, I had one wire just like a hair longer than the other. And then it was just bulging out, especially with how I charge it. I charge it by bending it 180 around on itself. And by bending it to the left, it was poking out twice as much there. So I want it to be really straight. This side's not ending up as good as the other side. That's okay. Like the negative was easier. This one feels a little bulky. Maybe my solder's getting a little weak. Working with one hand again. I wish I was a monkey. Using my hands and feet to fix. Okay. I think it did it again. Like barely melting it. Okay, I should be okay. Oh, come on. Okay, no, just stop working. So yeah, here if I just, I don't know, it seems like wiggling around seems to help. I just space out a little bit. And there, now it's alive again. It's hard keeping all these fibers nice and flush. I don't want all that copper poking out, so the heat shrink won't go on. There, much better. Oh, smoky, smoky. That's not too bad. Once again, batteries are on one side and the sodium cells are on the other. And I put a few bits of foam in there and everything, but the polyurethane's really what holds it all together. This filled box makes it kind of heavier, but that's okay. Oh, a little hot. Hot. Let's keep the fire going again. I'm always surprised that it doesn't set anything on fire, it just shrinks it up.